So in this video, I just wanted to run through my top new pens for 2018. These are pens that, as far as I know, went on sale in 2018. Pens aren't like cell phones or cars, where it's very clear when they were released. So I just want to say that as a quick caveat that I believe all these pens went on sale in 2018, but I could be wrong. First up, we have the TWSBI Go. This is a sub $20 TWSBI fountain pen. It has the same nib as the Eco, but it has this sort of big, blocky body, this weird spring plunger mechanism to fill it, and sort of everything on it is just like kind of oversized and all plastic, obviously, except for the nib and the spring. But not my favorite pen. I would vastly recommend the Eco for $30 over the Go for $20, but it is cool that TWSBI now has a sub $20 fountain pen that actually writes fairly well. Here we have the Zebra Sarasa Grand Royal Silver, and I didn't really want to get too much into this because this was a limited edition, and I don't know that you'll be able to find these even if you wanted, but I just wanted to do a quick shout out to Zebra and their limited edition models. They very rarely disappoint. This is my top limited edition pen of the year by a long shot. Next, we have the Pentel Energel Infree, and all the Infree was a limited edition set of colors of the Pentel Energel retractable, and I replaced this refill, but they had limited edition colors and a few standard colors. There's an orange out there that's easy to find, a turquoise that's hard to find, a blue-black, and maybe a gray, something like that. And then they're just, past that, it's just the Pentel Energel body, but it's all clear. So I definitely recommend trying to find some of these. They're very cool. I was able to replace the refill with this Pelikan 338, but that's only once I got tired of using the refill it came with. But the Pentel Energel Infree was a pretty cool, and as far as I know, Japanese only release in 2018. This one I'm not really sure about the release date of, but it went on sale and became widely available in the US in 2018, and that is the Zebra FXMD. This is basically a all-metal version of the Zebra F701, which is like the everyday carry classic that we've talked about on this channel dozens of times. The FXMD, I believe it was Europe only, then maybe it went on sale in the US, or maybe they're only imported. It's not really clear, but it is a very cool pen. Prices on these tend to be inflated, selling for about $15, $16. But basically it's just a F701 with a full metal click retraction mechanism, and sometimes with a different refill. Since these came out, Zebra now sells a full metal F701, so there'll probably no reason ever to buy the FXMD, but it is a solid pen, and it had a brief shining moment in 2018. Next, we have the Parker Jotter XL, and this is a larger version of that classic Parker Jotter. It sells for about $35, which is on the expensive side for a Jotter, considering that a standard Jotter only sells for $7 or $8 or $10. Still uses a Parker G2 style refill, has a full metal body but with a plastic insert over here. Some slight changes to the retraction mechanism, but it is just what it says in the label, and it's a slightly larger Jotter. It's 7% larger on paper, but it actually feels a fair bit larger. This was a cool pen and one of the more interesting and highly awaited releases of 2018, but it didn't seem like the pen really got any traction. A lot of people have said the Jotter's too small, but it seems like those people have basically written off the Jotter and just bought something else as opposed to waited for a larger Jotter. But anyway, cool pen. I've used it a little bit, not nearly as much as I would have expected. and a little bit overpriced, but it'll be interesting in the future to buy these as prices drop. So that is the Jotter XL. Next we have the Zebra X701. The Zebra F701 is that basically similar to this pen, the FXMD obviously, and it's just a huge seller. It's an incredible deal for $7. And then all of a sudden Zebra came out with the X701, which is supposed to be the extreme version of the F701. But check out the FXMD or the F701. It's pretty extreme already. It has full metal body, metal clip, heavy duty metal front piece. Let's see if we can get this off. Sometimes it's so heavy duty that you can't even get the front piece off once it gets screwed down. Yeah, I need gloves or something to get that off. But anyway, this thing is bomb proof. It's like at least 1/8 of an inch thick. I believe it's steel in the body. So there's really no reason to release an extreme version of it, but Zebra wanted to go ahead and do that anyway, and that's the X version of the pen. And it's actually lighter than the F701. It has plastic. This grip area is plastic. This button mechanism is plastic. So it's weird to have an extreme version of the pen that's lighter weight and less tough in its build quality. But what Zebra did do is they were able to get this ballpoint refill, and essentially when you put it in, it seals it so that the pen will write upside down and at an angle and things like that, where some other pens won't, including the original F701. So that is worth keeping in mind, but you can see that it's a lighter duty pen. You can see that steel body is actually really rather thin. You know, it's not going to flex if I squeeze it. That's just because it's cylindrical. But it's definitely a lighter duty pen than the F701. So I think people are very excited about the idea of the X701, but then generally quite disappointed with the results. And the funniest part is that the F701 and the FXMD, they will fit with no problem with a Fisher Space Pen refill, which is in every way a better refill than what comes in the X701. So while this pen was an interesting idea and it looks pretty cool, there's really no reason for it to exist. Next, we have this pen. This is the Platinum Preppy, which I've talked about many, many times on this channel. And it was started in 2018 and went on sale in a clear version. So many people are doing these as eyedroppers, which means instead of using a cartridge or a converter, you just fill this body with ink, and then you put a little silicone grease here and then turn it shut, and this becomes the reservoir. Obviously you can't open it up, but this is the reservoir. And the original Preppy had a huge ugly sticker here. It looks a little bit like this, and it's not a true sticker, which it's like painted on, so you can't really remove it without damaging the body. So what Platinum finally did after years of people clamoring is release a version with no sticker, and we'll see what that looks like. Here's the difference between the two. You can see clearly the clear one on the bottom is just much, much nicer. One of the issues with the clear is that it was only sold in a fine, that's a 0.3 millimeter, but the basically this nib can be pulled off very easily. Just put a little tape on it and pull it straight off, and so you could change the nib out from the 0.3 millimeter to the 0.5 medium, or to the extra fine, which I think is a 0.25, something like that. Anyway, that's a really easy switch, just takes a couple seconds, and you can do that. Next up, we have, I would say these are the top big pen releases for me of 2018, and that is the Japanese re-release of the Rotring 600 and the Rotring 800 and the Rotring 600. These are pens that were released years ago. They're just phenomenal pens, some of my favorite of all time, but they were really hard to get because they stopped being sold in the 800, which is the retractable ballpoint, and the 600, the twist retractable ballpoint, and the 600, which is the retractable ballpoint. They're also sold in a fountain pen and a rollerball, which were not re-released, and a mechanical pencil, which never stopped being on sale, confusingly enough. So now they have a Japanese manufactured re-release in the 600 and 800. These 800s are basically a variant of the original 600, the 600 gold retractable ballpoint in the twist. So basically, this is getting insanely confusing at this point, but the 600 had gold variants, and they had two different styles of ballpoint, click and twist. And these twist gold ballpoints were some of the rarest of the Rotring 600 line. They were re-released as the 800. And now, instead of being sold on eBay for $300+, this Rotring 800 is available new with basically no shortcomings compared to the original for about $75 to $85. So very cool pen, has this great twist mechanism. You can see it there, locks, springs back, very smooth, very well built, and great for putting in your pocket, which there's nothing sharp or pointy here. And it uses a G2, Parker G2 style refill, in this case the original Rotring ballpoint. Just a great pen and fantastic build quality, and now basically anyone that wants one of these can have them for under $100. It's maybe not the best deal in town, because that would probably be the Rotring 600, but it's still a good deal, and it's way better than paying $300 or $400 for a used, NOS or new old stock one of these. And then we have the top pen released in 2018, and that's the re-released Rotring 600, and this is just the click retractable Rotring 600 ballpoint. And this one is extremely true to the original, except instead of selling for $100, $150 used on eBay, you can buy them new for about $30 or $35. They were hard to get for a while, but since the summer or so, stocks have risen and you can find them again. It's almost the same pen as the original. It's nicer in some ways, like the knurling is now done much better. The build quality is more consistent. This piece used to have a twist indicator, which it no longer does, but that's the only really thing you're missing. The click action is super smooth. Build quality is great. The only really complaint I've had people have with this pen is that the barrel is a little narrow, so for extended writing periods, it's not ideal. Just a really nice build quality, and it's super great to have these back. Parker G2 style refill, so you have a ton of options. You can see I have a Visconti refill in there, which I really like, instead of the original Rotring. And so those are my top pen releases, pens that were new for 2018, with the most notable being those two Rotrings. So thanks for watching.